Sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Monday. This is First Things First. I'm Jen Wolf. That is the Hall of Famer, Chris Carter. This right here is Nick Wright. Good weekend, gentlemen.
Great weekend. Great weekend. Great suit, Jenna.
Thank you very much.
Looks amazing.
Thank you.
Chris damn near broke 80 on the golf course, living his best life.
I'm back golfing and everything.
Yeah. Things are good. Feel strong. Well, we got a jammed show for you today. A fun one, too.
Got a black eye.
Talk about that some more as we proceed across the next 3 hours.
Old Wonder Bread trying to be wheat bread, you know.
We have 76ers star Tobias Harris will be here in studio, fresh off a new $180 million deal.
No ride.
Vikings tight end Kyle Rudolph will join us live. Lots to talk about from training camp. We'll ask him about Kirk Cousins. But we're going to start this morning with the Dallas Cowboys. To show or not to show, that was the question over the weekend regarding Ezekiel Elliott. Turned out not to show. Cowboys kicked off training camp without Zeke in attendance. The team reportedly proposed an extension, but Zeke has yet to counter. That being said, without Zeke there, all eyes are on his quarterback, Dak Prescott. Dak's got high hopes in this, his 4th season as the quarterback. The Cowboys talked about improving after last season's playoff run.
Each and every year you have confidence. You say this is the year. You say we've got a great team, but you look around this team we have, this roster that we have, the talent, the leaders that we have. It's to win, and it's to win everything. And we've got the people to do it, so it's got to just come in and stay focused and make sure that we're holding each other to those expectations.
The intangibles that he has as a leader, as a guy, I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Everybody respects him. They want to play for him. They listen to him. They believe in him. And then as a player, you know, his confidence in this system and all the little things that he's working on to improve his game, you know, I expect an incredible year for him. He is the leader of this football team.
All right, CC, we talk about how important Dak Prescott is for this Dallas Cowboys team, especially with a team as talented as they are this year with Ezekiel Elliott is all signed up. But for Dak specifically, what does he have to do to take that next step?
In certain situations, you have to be able to go to a game plan that is, they've eliminated our running game. They're better at that than what we are. And you can give the ball to the quarterback and say he can win the game for us. Or say, for instance, if they end up going against the #1 defense, rush defense. In New England, if they go against the #1 rush defense, like the Minnesota Vikings a couple times, when they do that, they throw the ball 45 times from a game plan. Going into it, what are our strengths versus their strengths, and doing what we want to do. Dallas needs to be able to throw the football when they want to and run it when they want to. Right now, they can only run the football. And for Dak to take those next steps as a quarterback, he needs to be more efficient as a passer. I'm talking about a dominant passer, where in games you say, okay, Dak took over that half. The Cowboys don't win if he's not efficient throwing the ball. But to me, it goes back to a lot of the simple things, his fundamentals. We talk about Cam Newton. What's Cam Newton doing this year with Norv Turner, Eric Turner, the coaches there? He's working on his footwork. And that's what John Kitna has Dak doing. Concentrate on his footwork. A lot of young quarterbacks get caught up into the numbers, what's your quarterback rating, all these things, but what about your footwork? What about the fundamentals? And once you can become consistent in those things, which Dak has not been consistent, and for the average football fan, they're not going to see that. But you can see the concentration this offseason with the staff there has been hone on those fundamentals, because sometimes Dak looks great. If the pocket's clean, he has room to be able to step into his throws, but he doesn't have the biggest arm in the NFL. He's not the most accurate, so he's really got to be tight on his fundamentals for him to be efficient and for him to keep getting better as a quarterback.
And fortunately for us, we have a template for Dak's best success and the Cowboys' best success, and that's his rookie season. And we now, you can say, okay, well, his rookie season, he had Cole Beasley and Dez Bryant. Well, now he's got Randall Cobb and Amari Cooper, two guys that are as good, in fact, better than each of those players were at that point in their career. The offensive line is the same. It's the same running back. It's as good, if not a better defense.
Same coach.
Absolutely. Yep. So what was the big difference between 2016 and last year? Sacks and turnovers. Last year, Dak turned the ball over way more in just the first 8 games of the season than he did the entirety of the 2018 season. That likely comes down to, in part, fundamentals, what you're talking about, forcing the ball in. And the sack numbers were off the charts. Dak's rookie year, he was sacked the 23rd most of any quarterback in the NFL. His second year, he was middle of pack, 14th. Last year, it was second most, 56 sacks. For comparison's sake, he was sacked 57 times his first 2 years combined. So was that the loss of Travis Frederick? Was that Tyron Smith not being as good? Was that Dak holding on to the ball too long? Most likely a combination of all of them. But we know that when Dak plays a clean game, this Cowboys team is extraordinary. Since he came into the league, if he doesn't turn the ball over, they are 24-3. 24-3 if he plays a clean game, not if he throws 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I agree with you that one of the next steps for him is being, especially if he's going to be paid like he wants to be paid, going to be able to take over games. But in the meantime, just don't lose the game for your team. And that does involve the team protecting him more and the team as a whole becoming much better in the red zone where they were dreadful last year.
You mentioned footwork. John Kitna has said the one thing he is working on with Dak Prescott this offseason, this training camp, is going to be his footwork to make him more comfortable there in the pocket. But something Jason Witten said right there, he said he's as confident as I ever remember him being. How important, when you talk about the fundamentals, is confidence, is having that team know that Dak Prescott may not be the most efficient passer or may not be the best runner, but he is the most confident guy in that team when they all take the field.
There's a difference in what people say and what people can do. Because Russell Wilson, because I believe he's the perfect comparison for who Dak wants to evolve as a quarterback. He's on a team that's got a good defense, dominant running game. Nick always complains they shouldn't have that type of game plan with Russell Wilson. Well, that's a different argument. But Dak, if he was watching someone, he would watch Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson, he can take over games. Even though sometimes the coaching staff, they're like, no, we're going to run the ball. Russell can throw the football, his fundamentals, his arm strength. And Dak is not blessed with top 10 arm strength. We have the best throwers in the NFL in the history that we've had. We have more guys that can throw the ball. Nick, his list, to get in that top 10 list as a quarterback, it's really tough. The quarterbacks that he doesn't have in there, they're really good quarterbacks. So for me, when you don't have some of the talent that other guys have, you have to be so good on your fundamentals. You have to be so good on your film study. You can't be out there guessing. So those things, Witten is there saying all the right things because he's a leader. Dak's not more talented than he was. To me, Russell Wilson has confidence. Dak has confidence in the media. But once the game starts, the numbers don't say that. When he gets into the red zone, they run the ball all the way down to the red zone. Then they get down there. They can't throw the ball in. They pack it against Zeke, take him out of it. Dak can't get points on the board. So there's one thing to be, oh, yeah, he's confident, he's confident. The Dak I see in the game still does not have the confidence of the elite throwers. And that's when you have success in the game. I'm talking about in-game confidence. Forget all that chalkboard BS, oh, you're trying to make people feel good. What do you do in the game? And Dak is not a great quarterback yet. So regardless of what Witten is saying, and I'll take half the stuff he said, I'll take it as truth. I know he's trying to be a leader. He's trying to make a positive contribution to that team. But Dak is not as talented. He's not as good a thrower as we have in the league. So, no, I understand he's confident, but he's not Russell Wilson, where they can run the ball 40 times. In those 25 throws, Russell Wilson is going to carve you apart. That's what I would like to see, that type of confidence.
And nothing helps a quarterback's confidence more than when you get in the scoring zone, when you get inside the 20, much less inside the 10, to get 7 instead of 3. And that's where Dallas was dreadful last year. There are only 4 teams in the league, 3 teams in the league actually kicked more short field goals, which means they were kicking field goals from the red zone. They were 26th in the league in touchdown percentage in the red zone. The 6 teams behind them, all of them were bad except for one. It's Miami, the Giants, the Texans, the Jets, the Jags, and the Niners. Like, you can't be a really good team in kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. So that is partially game plan. That is partially execution. It's the whole thing. But if the Cowboys change nothing other than go from 26th in the league in red zone touchdown percentage back into the top 6 like they were in 2016, that's worth 2 more wins by itself.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference. So the I would start there and then expand from there, because that should be the easiest thing to fix.
All right, we're going to talk much more about this. Eric Mangini is going to be joining us first time this season. We'll also discuss the latest with Ezekiel Elliott. Coming up, why is this season a unique challenge for Tom Brady? We're not just talking about his age. That's next on FS1. You can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM. We're back right after.